What's going on, my intergalactic pals? And today I'm going to talk about some leaders that I actually really like that I think we'll see Premiere play, and a few that probably won't. So the first leader I want to talk about is Jabba the Hutt, crime boss. Action, pay 1, exhaust, return a friendly underworld unit to its owner's hand, create a credit token. Again, credit tokens are a new form of resource that we are getting. You can spend those to pay aspect penalties when paying for card costs, things like that. It's just like having a resource, but you defeat that credit token once you use it to pay for something. Jabba the Hutt's flip side or deployed side is he's a 6 for a 3/9. Action, when you play a underworld unit from your hand. If you defeated a credit while paying its cost, that unit gains ambush. So the ability is you want to have credit tokens. You want to use those credit tokens to play those underworld units, and then because you use those, you're gonna give them ambush. So this will probably, I feel, see a little bit of play in Premiere. I think people will figure something out, especially with Underworld having some really powerful stuff. The next unit the next leader I want to talk about is Director Krennic. Admits my achievements. Action, tap, defeat a friendly unit, create a credit token. His deployed side, he's 7 cost, 4 power, 9 health. When deployed, another friendly unit deals damage equal to its power to enemy unit. Two things I saw with this that I could see people wanting to play this is, one, you could defeat units that are already going out and being defeated that phase, so why not benefit a little bit more from them? And not only that, getting when defeated abilities on top of the defeated and creating that credit token, then as well as kind of giving you temporary advance resources where you can start playing bigger things, and then when you hit 7, you can deploy him and have a friendly unit deal damage equal to its power to an enemy unit. So you can have a big unit, maybe take out a sentinel that's really getting in your way, or anything like that. So again, another leader that I think we'll see some Premiere play. Let's go over to some heroism. Leia Organa, someone who loves you. Action, pay 2, tap. For this phase, give a unit +1/+1 for each different aspect it has. With a lot of cards having 2 to 3 aspects already, or 1 to 2 aspects already, we now have 3 aspect cards. So at most, you're giving a unit +3/+3 for two resources, which is really good. Minimum 1, so you probably won't use it for the +1/+1. Your sweet spot is more, you're paying 2 to give +2/+2 for the phase, which is really good. And again, we do have a lot of new 3 aspect units where you're essentially giving +3/+3 for the phase for only 2 resources. Her deployed side, 5, she's a 2/2 with overwhelm. Choose a unit, give an experience token to that unit for each different aspects among units you control. So another thing, it's looking at the whole board state and giving you multiple experience tokens to a unit equal to the different aspects that you control. Again, 3 at most, unless you're really, really pushing the risk on playing out of aspect stuff just to gain a little bit more, but I don't think people will do that. Another leader that I thought, Nephis Nest, until we can go no higher. Her ability is when you use an on-attack ability, you may pay 2 and exhaust this leader. If you do use that ability again, the whole point of this effect is just to double up on your on-attack abilities and gaining as much as you can for 2. And some on-attack abilities are worth copying and adding additional benefits for only 2 resources. Her deployed is 5. She's 3 power, 7 health. When you use an on-attack ability, you may use that ability again. Use this ability only once each round. Essentially the same or actually not the same, it is better because it only cares about seeing it on the attack. You don't have to pay any resources, you don't have to exhaust her, and you get the on attack ability. Again, doubling up on a really useful on attack ability when you can, at a potentially no additional cost to you. The next card I was looking at was Saul Guerrier, bring down the Empire action. Attack with the unit, it gets +2/+0 and gains overwhelm for this attack. After completing this attack, defeat it. Again, this is more of a, it's already going out the door, it's going to get defeated. Might as well put a little bit more pressure on a unit, get some overwhelm damage, or even just some extra damage to the enemy base, and then defeat my unit. And then it's his deployed side, 6, with 4 power, 7 HP. When attack ends, I really don't like that. I'm always thinking when the attack ends, but I get why they had to put it this way. When attack ends, if this unit survived, you may attack with another unit. It gets +2/+0 and gains overwhelm for this attack. After completing this attack, defeat that unit. So you attack with Saw. Saw survives. Let's say you only attack base. You give another unit +2/+0. It gains overwhelm. You attack with that unit. And then you defeat it at the end of the attack. Same thought process. Hey, this unit's already going to be going out. Might as well throw in some extra damage somewhere. Maybe I need to take something out. That way I can survive and I just need that extra damage to push through. Or you might want that overwhelm or just the straight extra 2 damage to an enemy base. Put that pressure out there. So now to my picks of leaders that I don't think will see any play in Premiere, merely for their effect. Based on card pool that we have available now, I haven't seen every card. I don't think all cards have been revealed. So bear in mind anything I'm saying. This is just my opinion. And honestly, that's just how I feel at the moment until we see some more things. The first card being Chewbacca, Hero of Kessel. Action, pay 1, defeat a friendly resource, deal 2 damage to a unit, and create a credit token. I don't like the idea of sacrificing a resource. Yes, I am getting 2 damage on a unit, cool, and I'm getting that credit token, but that credit token is only temporary. I am now setting myself back a resource in the long run, and it's not really doing much at that point. To my opinion, that's how I see it. Deployed 4, 5 power, 6 health. On attack, defeat a friendly resource. If you do, deal 2 damage to a unit and create a credit token. Again, I'm just putting myself back on resources because I have to spend those other credit resources to then make up for the credit that I just defeated. In the long run, I'm just putting myself further back in the game. As always, we start with 2 in the beginning. If I Chewy one of them, I still have 2 resources, true, but one of them is temporary. So then the next phase, I have 1 resource, I'm at 3, but then if let's say I want to play something, I'm back down to 2. It's not, there's no benefit at this point. Maybe there are cards that say if this was in your resource pile and it was defeated, do XXX. Hopefully, but at the time of me recording this, I don't see that. The other leader I was looking at was Velsartha, Insurgent, Aldon. I don't know why I'm saying it weird. Give an experience action, tap, give an experience token to a unit. An opponent creates credit token. Same thing, kind of like with Chewy, but in the opposite way. I'm getting a +1/+1 experience for a unit. That's great, but now I'm inevitably allowing my opponent to have an additional resource, which is putting them ahead and putting me behind. Yeah, my unit is slightly stronger and maybe could survive a little bit longer. That's great, but the downfall is eventually my opponent will overtake me with a stronger unit or play something that will kill that unit faster. Deployed 6, 4 health or 4 power, 7 health. On attack, you may give an experience token to a unit. If you do, an opponent creates a credit token. Again, it's great that I'm getting a unit, that it's getting bigger and it's getting stronger, but by doing so, I am giving my opponent additional resources to outpace me in the game in the long run. They will be faster, they will have better units, or abilities that will kill the unit that I just made bigger. I know there is a card that isn't blue. I don't know if it was villainy. I think it might just be purely blue. And it says opponents' credit tokens lose all effects, meaning that you can't activate, or they can't activate them, which is great. But at that point, I'm having to protect that unit so that way they don't gain the benefits. So again, maybe there's a card somewhere down the line that will benefit us. If my opponent creates a credit token, it does something. Or if they have X credit tokens and I play a card and I defeat them and they take damage equal to the number of credit tokens, only time will tell at this moment. And the last leader I'm going to talk about is Tiberius Beckett, People of Predictability. Action, choose a friendly unit. An opponent takes control of it. If they do, create a credit token. Again, I'm paying for something and then giving it to my opponent to gain one resource. I can see if it was a when this unit is defeated. No. Not even when defeated abilities would be good for this, because your opponent gets the activation of those when defeated abilities. Until we get more clarity on what cards we get, maybe there are cards that say if your opponent controls this card, it does XXX, whatever. I just don't see the benefit of this. Maybe giving them like a battle droid token. If you can generate battle droid tokens, you give them a token and create a resource. I can see that being worth it, but other than that, I really don't see anything. Deployed side 5, he's a 4/6. When deployed, defeat any number of units you own but don't control. For each unit defeated this way, create a credit token and draw a card. So his deployed side, I will say, is better because you are defeating the things you gave to your opponent to then draw cards and create a credit token. So I like that. I don't like the other side. But again, this is just my opinion. We will see more cards coming out. I've seen a few cards that do go to your opponent and they do stuff while they're there, but in the long run, it ultimately does hurt you. Will he see any kind of Premier Plate? I don't think so. I think this will be a fun legacy deck, not legacy. Well, maybe legacy. Good, like a fun trilogy deck, or an interesting Twin Suns leader. That these again are just my opinion at the time of recording. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment, subscribe, like. Did I say share? Share if you haven't shared already. And as always, be safe in that big galactic world of ours, and I'll see you around.